Well, we've already had a really weird, warm, record setting winter, so why should we expect that the spring housing market wouldn't start by the end of March when it feels like spring, sometimes summer? Hey, everybody, I'm Tristan Emond with Mindful Living Realty, a realtor right here in Rapid City, South Dakota, the gateway to the Black Hills. Here it is, the end of March. We're starting to see green grass grow. We just had someone come by and power rake our lawn already. Usually it's still a winter month. And as it usually happens when the weather starts warming up, in Rapid City, South Dakota, we start seeing the spring housing market come alive. In the past few weeks, I've been pretty busy showing properties, answering questions, and overall getting a general feel that spring is in the air and people are thinking about buying and selling properties. Just last week, I had 3 out of town customers in town during the same week. I've got another one coming this weekend. And then another couple that have been looking for properties in the past couple weeks came up and we put a home under contract. Homes that I'm setting up for showings a day later are getting canceled sometimes because they went under contract. And one home that I showed last night already had offers on it, and the listing agent was calling me to see if I wanted to join in the fun. So we are starting to see more and more homes getting sold in single-digit days. Now, that's not the complete story. That's the general feel of it. But don't worry, things aren't going crazy like they were in 2022. We're still seeing plenty of price reductions, and our average days on market in the Rapid City area is about 63 days. What's kind of happening is the homes that were listed back in December and January are starting to feel a little bit more like market age, and so those properties are having to reduce their prices. But the new stuff that's popping up has a tendency to move a little faster because it's new and shiny. So we're in this kind of weird spot as the spring market is starting to ramp up. We've only got about 200 homes for sale in the Rapid City, Rapid Valley area, with about 530 in the entire Black Hills MLS. That's not a whole lot of homes. I've got a few clients right now that are waiting for homes to pop up. They've seen everything that's available, and they're waiting for more to pop up here in the spring. But a lot of sellers are still waiting for that green grass, the flowers, to really put their home on the market so they can showcase how beautiful their property is. Based on the conversations I'm having with other agents as I'm setting up showings, as we're talking about how the showings went, is that there's a lot of buyer activity out there, and there's some pent-up desire for buyers to buy properties that's kind of really getting started right now. That being said, buyers are still being reserved and picky. They're not just throwing the money at anything that comes up. They're being reserved, making sure that it is of value, making sure that it makes sense for them, and of course, making sure that they add the home inspection so they're not buying a money pit. The way it's looking at the moment, if you're looking for a deal in the Rapid City real estate market, those days were a couple months ago. Now we're starting to see a pretty normal Rapid City spring real estate market where we're going to start seeing more and more homes come to market, but also more and more buyers coming along to eat up that supply. With all this happening right now and the future growth of Rapid City in the works, I'm not expecting to see home prices decline anytime soon. We might see some deals happen again next winter. Let's jump into the monthly numbers and talk about that story. In December of 2025, the average sold price for a single family property in the Rapid City and surrounding area was about $406,000. Generally slowed way down with the average price point about $374,000, but that jumped back up to $433,600 in February of this year. From February 2025 to February 2026, that's about a 1.8% increase in home values overall. Now let's jump into the new construction, which is generally getting more and more expensive. The average sale price on new construction in December was $421,000. In January, it was about $430,000, and it didn't go up too much more in February of 2026, with the number being at $430,433. From 2025 to 2026 in February, that average sale price is up 2.2%. We're also seeing more inventory over the past few months than we did back in 2025. However, in February, there are about 100 more sales than there were the previous year. So even though we've had more homes come available on the market, they're getting sold, which of course limits our supply and adds to that supply and demand. If you're thinking about buying a home in the next few months here in a Rapid City, a few things you need to consider and keep in mind as you're looking at properties. Yes, you'll be able to look at a number of properties in your price range and decide which one that you like the best. However, if there's one that you find that you love, I would recommend that you jump on it relatively quickly so that you don't lose out on that property. Because the way it has been going, there have been multiple people looking at that property, and one of them might make that offer. If you're looking at a property that has been listed for a while, there may be a reason why it's still on the market, whether that's needing some extra work or some other things like that. That's going to be your best chance to negotiate on a property if it's been on the market for a little bit longer. That being said, sellers are still negotiating. Don't be afraid to throw a number at the seller to see what they're going to say, to see where they're at, and see if we can come to an agreement somewhere in the middle. Sellers, the purchasing power of those buyers is little more limited, with those interest rates kind of creeping back up. They're being a little more conscientious of what they're buying, making sure that all the stars are aligning, and of course, then being a little more picky on some of the characteristics and construction of the property. Not to mention, when it comes to home inspection time, they're expecting you to cure some of the problems that might have been found on that home inspection. Don't be surprised if they do multiple inspections on different areas of the house to make sure that it is sound and they're not buying a lemon or something that they're going to regret later. You're going to also find that you're probably going to have to pay for some closing costs or some extra fees to help those buyers buy the property. Now, this doesn't mean you get to slough off on making your property as nice as possible for the buyers to buy your property. If it isn't show ready, buyers are going to pass on your property and go find another one, or they're going to offer you way less for your property than you feel it's worth. The homes that are selling the fastest and for the best price are the ones that are maintained, they're show ready, the buyers walk in the door and are excited to put an offer on the property. If you're thinking about putting your home on the market here in what we call the spring, in the next few months, especially as the grass is growing greener here, you need to start working now on the things that are going to help make your house look the best, whether it's painting, adjustments, a couple updates, all those things that you're looking at saying, I should do that someday. Now's the time to get that project started. Whether you're thinking about buying a property in Rapid City or the Black Hills this spring, or are thinking about getting that Rapid City home ready for sale in the next month or two, let us help you. I'm going to give you the information that you need to know for you and your situation, not trying to bulldoze you into a sale or making something happen, but make sure that it's actually what you want in your time frame. Go ahead and scan this QR code right here. All my contact information will pop out on your phone. And of course, if you're watching this on your computer, on your desktop, all my information will be below in the description. We're kind of in this weird transitional period between winter and spring. Now is the time to make your moves. Thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing day. Remember, love where you live.